Hey there, welcome back to Equefit. Today we're going to talk about how to tell if your hay is moldy. So if you look around me, I'm at the hay loft in the top of the barn, and we got plenty of hay in the barn for this winter. So you want to make sure that your hay is going to be a sweet smelling, very pleasant aroma so that it's going to keep your horse healthy throughout the season. So the best way to tell if you've got moldy hay is, number one, to take a look at the hay. Now, the hay behind me, I've got a couple different types of hay behind me, and if you look at it, you can tell that some of it is a little lighter color than others is a little darker color, and some are even a little darker. So depending on the type of grass hay that you have, whether it's an orchard grass or it's a Timothy or maybe even an alfalfa, the coloration of that hay is going to be a little bit different. If it's sat out in the sun for a pretty long time, it could also be sun bleached, but that doesn't mean that it's lost its nutritional value. But moldy hay, on the other hand, has a different smell to it, and that is the number one thing that you're going to use to detect whether your hay is moldy or not. This right here. Now, you can look at some of the hay, and for instance, I've got a little bit right here, and you can see it almost has a real dark look to it, much darker than this hay that's right here behind me. But that's not always an indicator. If it has any black spots when you pull the flakes apart, if it has a grayish look to it or something that looks like it has like maybe white spots on it, that's an indication that that hay could be moldy. If it's first cutting hay and maybe it didn't get a chance to really dry properly, if you pull flakes apart and you feel dampness or moisture, that can be an indication that your hay is going to be moldy. The other thing, if you smell it and it has an unpleasant odor to it, and you know what I mean, unpleasant, it stank, okay? Good indicator that it's moldy. Okay, and moldy hay should not be given to your horse. Okay, it's just like saying, well, I paid, $8 a bale for this. Most of the hay farmers that I deal with, if you call them up and say, hey, I got a couple bales of moldy hay, they'll replace them. Okay, now it depends, I guess, on who you're dealing with, but most of them do not want to have their customers feeding moldy hay to their animals. Now, if you're throwing hay to other species like cows or goats or sheep or something like that, now that's going to be a different story. Horses have a different gastrointestinal system. And if you feed moldy hay to them, you can give them a digestive upset, which could in turn lead to colic. So trying to save a bale of $7 hay is not going to look good to your pocketbook when that $100 vet bill comes in because you had to call the veterinarian in to deal with your horse's colic or upset stomach. So, a couple things to remember about moldy hay. Is it moist? Is it damp? Does it have black spots or white spots or kind of grayish spots to it? Is it really dusty? Like, for instance, when we pick this hay up, and I'm going to do it in just a second. I'm going to show you because it's going to be a big dust cloud that's going to come out of it. Shake it. If you get a whole lot of this going on and it's poofy and you get a lot of dust coming at you, those are spores. Those are mold spores that are coming out. You don't want to give that to your horse. It's just like saying then that if you have milk in the refrigerator, you open up that milk and you smell it and you go, woo! Would you give it to your kids? No. You're going to pour it. Pitch it. Matter of fact, I don't even pour it down my drain. I'm taking it right to the commode and go. And that's what you need to do with moldy hay for your horse. Don't feed it. Okay? If you have any questions or any comments, and if you are really new to this and maybe you need a little bit more experience in detecting if that smell is bad or not, grab somebody that knows a little bit more than yours, a little farther advanced than you, or you can ask your local hay dealer, hey, can you tell if this hay is moldy? But for now, no moldy hay for the horses. I'll see you later.